I used to work at a hotel in Saragossa. I was married, and I was 33 years old at that time. My wife was 28. We have two children, a boy who was 7 and a girl who was 5. I was a purchasing analyst at that hotel. My wife worked at the same hotel, at the front desk. We had a very peaceful marriage. We weren't rich, but our life was quite comfortable. We lacked nothing. Our families got along very well. We were about to complete 9 years together. And suddenly, Jessica became strange with me. Our schedules were all complicated. Our days off were on a rotating basis. We couldn't always take days off together. It was even worse for Jessica. She worked at the front desk. And since we received many foreign tourists, and because she was the only one who spoke fluent German, on her shift, she ended up being very requested. Sometimes, she would work double shifts. Jessica is the granddaughter of Germans. Blonde, blue-eyed, a very beautiful woman. Like most women in Rio Grande do Sul here, I was already used to the advances she received. But I was always very insecure. Even because, modesty aside, I am also a very handsome guy. I am 6 feet 1 inch tall. I am blonde, and I have green eyes. I remember that in our youth, we were known as the Barbie and Ken couple. A perfect couple, as people said. I always received many advances too. But I never let myself be swayed. Jessica was enough for me. And I was always faithful to her. After about 2 months that I had already noticed the change in mood, and that Jessica was distancing herself, I found out a reason. I came here today to knock on your door to present something that could be a major turning point in your career. She called me to talk and said, Augusto, you know I love you very much, but I never hid from you that I always wanted to see Europe, and a job opportunity came up in France. I really want to go. Unfortunately, I can't take you and the kids. I got very nervous and said, Jessica, are you crazy? What about our children? She said she trusted me and that initially it would only be 3 months. After much reluctance, I saw that there was no way around it and ended up accepting, thinking it would just be a job. After 3 months that Jessica had already been living abroad, I called her and she told me she needed 2 more months. I complained, I was very nervous, the children cried every day because of her, and I said that if she didn't come back, she didn't need to come back ever. That's when she told me she needed some time. She needed time to think, and it became clear that she wanted to. She had really liked her life there, she had enjoyed it a lot, and she didn't want to come back to Brazil so soon. After that, it hit me, and I went after one of her friends and started pressuring her. My children were constantly crying, missing their mother, and her friend spilled the beans. She said that a hotel guest used to send Jessica notes and invite her to see his house in France. I immediately sent a message to Jessica, telling her to stay there, because at home she was no longer welcome. And I asked for a divorce. She still tried to argue, came up with some silly philosophical talk. I just said, look Jessica, I don't care anymore what you're doing or who you're with. Just accept the divorce, give up custody of our children, otherwise, I'll take them there for you to take care of. It was obvious that she didn't want to stay with the children, it would interfere with her teenage romance. She was still reluctant, but after I spoke with my father-in-law and mother-in-law, she ended up accepting. And those were 2 years. 2 years that my wife abandoned her children and husband to pursue a teenage relationship with a stranger. Those were 2 very difficult years for me. My son was now 9 years old, my daughter 7. And they barely remembered their mother. Jessica's parents helped me a lot and were as outraged as I was at the time. We moved on. During those 2 years, Jessica even called our school. I didn't know what to do with my children, but it did more harm than good, until she realized it and stopped calling. Another year passed, I left the hotel I worked at, got a new job as a purchasing manager at another hotel. Which was very good. Not just because of the salary, but to get out of a place that brought back many memories of Jessica. My children were already older, I was managing to dedicate more time to myself, I started going to the gym. I was even getting to know someone else. I remember I made plans to go out with this girl I met at the gym, left my children with my former mother-in-law, and was supposed to pick up the kids the next day. When I went to pick up the children the next day, I got a shock. Jessica was there. She greeted me somewhat awkwardly, looked worn out, had gained about 55 pounds, and was holding a child a little over a year old. It had been 3.5 years since I had seen Jessica, and she was very different. We spoke very little. I avoided talking to her. She asked to leave the children there for a while, and I was supposed to pick them up only the next day. When the next day arrived, my mother-in-law came to talk to me. She said that Jessica had asked to move back in with her, said that she had given up on going back to France. Jessica said that her husband was possessive, jealous, wouldn't let her work, and was also cheating on her. According to my former mother-in-law, Jessica had to lie to be able to leave France and come to Brazil. She had to say that her father was very sick and in danger of dying. When my mother-in-law started to give more details, I stopped her and said, "Dona Yolanda, you have helped me a lot and still help me today, but spare me the details. I don't want to know anything more about Jessica. My children will continue to live with me, okay? Please let her know." My children even spoke to Jessica, but she was treated like a distant aunt, an aunt who lived far away. And I believe that was the first time she told me that she no longer wanted to live with me. It was the greatest punishment she could have had. They had more intimacy with their grandmother than with their own mother. The next day, I went to my former mother-in-law's to pick up the children. Jessica saw my girlfriend and looked defeated. I was 37 years old at that time. Jessica was going to be 33, and my girlfriend was 27. Younger and much more beautiful than her. When I was leaving, I remember Jessica even said, "Wow, Augusto, your girlfriend is lovely. She's not jealous of you coming here, is she?" I even laughed and said, "Jealous of what?" She frowned and went inside. After that day, she even stopped greeting me. And she started to get irritated because my children only went there because of their grandmother. They didn't even care about her. A few months passed, and I ended my relationship with my girlfriend. I even liked her, but she wanted commitment, wanted to get married, wanted to have children. It was her dream. And I was very honest. I wasn't going to get into that complicated soap opera. When Jessica found out that I was single, she started making up excuses to talk to me. She called me saying that she had gotten a new job, was working at a tourism agency in town, and that now she could help me with the children. I was short and blunt with her, and I said that she could buy gifts, clothes, do whatever she wanted for the children. But I didn't need her before, and I don't need her now. She spent months trying to get close to me again. She started attending a church. And she came to me with talk of family restoration. That day I got annoyed with her talk. So I said, "Jessica, if you're circling me again, hoping something will happen, that our family will be restored, you can forget about it. My family is me and my children. You deleted yourself from our lives because you wanted to. You abandoned me with our children and went to live your teenage romance. Came back worn out, with a child from another man. And you simply want me to accept you back. As if nothing had happened." She started to cry, make a scene, and said, "I know I was wrong, Augusto, but I still love you. If we're not going to live together again, I'll go back to France." I told her that if she wanted, I would even buy the ticket. She kept crying and left. After about 3 months, she realized it wasn't going anywhere. She took her things and left. My children don't even ask about her anymore. She ended up going back to her husband, who, according to her, was unfaithful and violent. And she will have to settle for him, because that's all that was left for her.